Hey guys, welcome again to another Beastwars review. Today we are looking at Beastwars Predacon Ramhorn. Like the previous figure I had reviewed before this one, this comes in a set of 3 along with Cicadacon and one other figure, and we'll get into that. Well, we'll get into why soon, but for now we're dealing with just him. He is a rhinoceros beetle. Rhinoceros beetles are kind of interesting. They're quite commonly kept as pets in some parts of the world, namely in Asia and parts of Europe, and I can kind of see why. I think they're cute. They're nice, very well behaved pets. Sadly, in my country, you're not really allowed to bring them in because they're afraid any kind of herbivorous insect will become invasive. So as such, there's a sort of a moratorium on bringing them in unless you have some kind of scientific documentation proving you have some important reason for having them. Bummer. Oh well. He's got a lot of mass to him. He's very thick, has a lot of... The parts density is really a thing here. He's got a lot of mass. Like, this isn't hollow. There's a lot of stuff going on. He doesn't have much posability in this form, but there is some. He's got posability at the front here. He's got a ball joint here, and it's connected to a hinge that's way up here in the thorax. So he's got a little bit of waggle. Little bit of waggle there. And he can move this around. His head is on some sort of ball joint, I think, and he can twist it, and he can move his head up and down like this, and bend this piece here. I really like what they've done with the eyes. The eyes here are painted in such a way to, I guess, create the illusion of the compound eye refracting light. At the bottom, you can see that it's black, and there's sort of an airbrushed effect that goes up to yellow, or a sort of light yellowish green. So it looks as though there is light reflecting or refracting through the lenses, which, nice effect. I like it. You can see at the base of the head there, you can see these small teeth-shaped marks here. That's supposed to demarcate, I think, where the mouth of the insect actually is. You can't generally see the mouth parts on these particular types of beetles most of the time, and there's usually a little series of hairs in front of it. Looks a little bit like a broom or a mustache just in front of it, and usually the only thing you see coming out of it is their tongue. They can, like a cat, stick their tongue out. I kind of like this color. This color of plastic. It's sort of a burgundy, I guess. Yeah. And it is semi-transparent. It's not terribly transparent, but there is some amount of light that shines through. You can kind of see it right there, shining through the inside of the carapace. It's a nice effect. It's got kind of a sheen to it, almost metallic, but yeah, I think it even has some metallic flaking in the plastic itself. Some people might be worried about that it might crack. I haven't had any issues on this one. He's holding up, and I'll take care of him, so it won't be a problem. At least it shouldn't. There's a little bit of just flat gray plastic here at the legs, and then again here at the front. And that's pretty much it for this mode. Interesting fact about these guys: this space here, where the 2 molded pieces of wing case are being shown. These insects often use their wing cases as a defense mechanism against predators. What they'll do is they'll open each side ever so slightly to try and fool predators into getting their fingers or their paws into this area here, hoping that there's a vulnerability in their defenses. And what they'll do is they'll clamp down really hard on a predator's fingers or feet or beak or mouth and hurt them pretty badly. They'll pinch them almost like a crab using their wing cases. And they are quite strong, so yeah, they'll definitely hurt. So it's kind of an interesting fact about them. This big array up here is not their only weapon. Anyway, to transform him is quite simple. You simply flip him up like this, and you can see his legs. To begin the transformation, you just unpeg them. There's little pegs here that connect to the underside of the robot mode foot. Swing them like that. And again, on that side, same thing. And there we go. Mostly done on the bottom. And then take this carapace and try and pull this out. While he's in his, I neglected to mention, while he is in his beetle form, this thing here, which becomes his melee weapon, can be stuck out of the shell in this weird position to provide, I guess, some sort of attack mode. I don't really see how that makes any sense, but it's there. Anyway, I will pull this out of the carapace, and there's his melee weapon. Transparent blades. You flip this guy over, and you see here are his arms, and here is the rub sign. And you can see there's his shoulder, forearm, and he's got these long hands with these singular, well, these pairs of long fingers. And so swivel these out. His robot body is mainly finished now. It's relatively simple. I will clamp that back down, and then come around to this side and take the thorax region, and you can separate it like that. They are on a swivel and a ball joint, and I'll flip these legs out of the way so that you can bring these two halves around like that. There we go. And they just peg together again. And now he's got his torso completed. Now, for the final bit, take the beetle head and rotate it around like this. And you can do more or less whatever you like with these insect bits, with the front legs of the insect back here. I don't think there's any specific way that they suggest you pose those. Anyway, for this part, I'll show you this. The last bit is you actually spread the head of the beetle apart to create this sort of ornate mask face. It's almost like a kabuki mask or something. Very strange. Circular eyes sculpted, or eye holes sculpted into these sort of angry eyes. And he's got teeth and a sort of a beak-shaped head, a beak-shaped mouth, and he can open and close it with his neck. The teeth are actually on the base of his neck. It's very strange. And he's got this large, decorative horn coming out of his head. It's actually vaguely, to me, it's vaguely reminiscent of a samurai helmet, which, interestingly, are called kabutos, which mean beetle, beetle helmet. And so he's got a beetle with a samurai helmet named after beetles. Okay. I never really thought this guy was especially threatening or anything. He is He is kind of a weird-looking guy, but never really thought of him as being especially imposing. He's just odd. And kind of decorative in a nice way. And you can plug his weapon in like that, and you've got this guy in his robot mode with his weapon. Let's see if I can... There we go. That's good. Let's see if I can get him to stand. Because he is a bit back heavy because of his beetle backpack. There we go. He is standing up. I think he is, although not threatening looking or scary looking, although that weapon is impressive, I think. He is interesting to look at. I like his colors, and the design of his robot mode, I guess, is compositionally interesting. But otherwise, there's not much else to tell about him. He's kind of just a strange-looking fellow that has a scary weapon, and has got some weird mask face. But interestingly, this guy, like Cicada-Con, has a Japanese counterpart in the Beastwars 2 series, where Cicada-Con's Japanese counterpart, his name was DJ, which, again, weird Japanese names. This guy's name was Motor Arm. Motor Arm wasn't exactly the same color as this. He's got some really, really bright red bits on him, and some just flat brown bits on him as well. And I don't think he has this purple either. I can't remember the exact color scheme. I do know that his face was red, though, instead of white. And those characters were just ridiculous in that show. Anyway, that's really all there is to tell about Beastwars Ramhorn. And I'll see you again in the next video.